Hello, it's Shelly with Gilbert Marketplace. Welcome everybody to the Craft Miss group. We're going to do an event this weekend. It is sponsored by Beth over at Ruffled Daisy. And Ruffled Daisy, yes. And after I finish mine, we're going to see Snooki Designs, and she's going to do some really cute Christmas ornaments. So make sure after my live video you check out her page. Also, you can be in a drawing for two $50 gift cards from Amazon. So make sure you go over to the craft-mas group this year and join in there, and that will get you all the different vendors and hosts that are doing all the different crafts, plus you'll be entered into those drawings. Also, don't forget to join my YouTube page, Gilbert Marketplace. I also have a DIY site where we do mini crafts. I do quite a bit of crafts, and I also write for Home Talk, so you can find me there also. But again, it's Gilbert Marketplace, and let's get started. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick up a Santa head. Now this one came from the Dollar Tree, and you can pick that up there. They just basically came out, and if you can't find this exact one, any kind of Santa hat will work. And this is the cute little project we're going to do today. It is a little Santa door sign. You can put it on your buffet, lots of cute little things. I did do it in the black and white. You could do it in red and white. You can do it in the red and black. And these are just for ideas of how you want to do your Christmas decoration. But with no further ado, let's get started. So you'll need this sign. You'll need some buffalo checkered ribbon. You'll need some fur, white fur. And I always purchase this at Hobby Lobby. They have the nicest fur there. It's on the bolt, and you just go to the fabric counter and have them cut you off some. But theirs by far is one of the best. I used a couple of these little charms. They're super cute. You can pick these up at Walmart. 4 come on a card for $1.98. You can get the fabric at the Dollar Tree also. And that's the black buffalo check. Now you can use any fabric you want. We'll also be using some of these nice greens. These are just wired green stems, and you can pick these up at the Dollar Tree too. I love these. You can cut them off. You don't have to worry about cutting up your Christmas tree. You'll need some 1-inch wooden balls. You'll just need one of those, but those are 1 inch. Some garnishes. I got some pine cones from the Dollar Tree, our glue stick, some Mod Podge, some twine, and some cute little picks that you can also use. Okay, you'll also need a fence board. Now I cut this at 18 inches. It just happened to be scrap that I had, and we're going to use that as his body. So not to waste time, I've already painted it so his body is black, and we'll use that in a little bit. But we're going to start with the Santa. What you'll need to do is obviously remove the tag, because we're not going to need that. And we don't need to worry about filling the hole or anything, because that's going to be covered up by the fabric. So let's get started here. Let's see, can you see all right? Let me move that down. You don't need to see me. Okay, so what I did is I'm just going to take some of this fabric, and we will just lay it over its hat. And I'm gonna try, there you go, not to get any wrinkles in there. Otherwise you might be wanting to iron it. Nice and smooth there. And we'll just kind of spread that out like that. And I'm just gonna flip it over. And I'm going to just trace on the back with my pen here, so that I can cut my fabric. We'll just trace it right like this. Okay, so now that I have his hat shape, we'll just use our scissors, and we're gonna cut that out. And you'll just go right along the lines here so that we can get it as close to possible. My pen mark's not so good over here, but let's just wing it over here. Okay, so once we have that cut out, we'll just throw that over to the side here. And now we have our hat. Okay, so we will get that kind of lined up. And it's not going to matter if it's on the ball part or not, but I did do enough for that. And we will take our Mod Podge and our paintbrush. And I'm just going to squeeze some right onto the side. Now, I will tell you, when I did mine, I did it with the red and the white kind of showed through. So you know what? I recommend that you give it a little spray paint or just paint it black. Again, for video purposes, we're going to save time. I'm just going to spread that on here. But I noticed, and maybe I'm just picky, I noticed that it was showing through. So I'm just going to spread the Mod Podge all over the hat. But I didn't like, because of the white checks, that you could see it a little bit. And so I was like, yeah, I think I'll just paint that black for the future when I do a couple more. That way you're not seeing that red pop through. So just spread that all on, get a nice even coat. Nice thick coat, there you go. And then we'll take our fabric and again, just line it up. And we'll push down on that. We'll just give that a second to dry. We're done with our Mod Podge. So this is like a quick project. Most of my projects, if you guys already follow me, you'll know are really super fast. I am a fast crafter and I do lots and lots of projects and lots of inexpensive projects. So if you like to do inexpensive DIYs, I kind of cut the hat a little too long, so I'm just going to cut some of this off here. And if you like to follow me or, you know, subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I do lots of them. Now, if it's not perfect, then we'll just kind of go around and trim it a little bit closer with the scissors. After it dries really good, you can just come back in with a sander block and, you know, hit the edges with it, and it will kind of even rough it up, make it look a little more shabby, and that's super cute too. But I just got a couple spots that wasn't, you know, perfect, so let me, there we go, that's good. Okay, so now we have his hat down. Next, we're going to use our fur. And I'm going to put his fur, let's see, I got a bunch of pieces over here. I have the scrap piece. So when you're using the fur, we're going to cover up all the sparkly spot. I just think it looks kind of cheap, and so I don't really care for that. So when you're cutting the fur, I can recommend though, when you're going to cut it, take your fingers and spread it out a little. Only because if you cut a straight line, then the fur will not like cover the line. You'll see that harsh line. So see, when you cut it and you just move it, then you don't have that raw edge. You can kind of pull it away a little bit from your edges, and it makes it look a lot better, trust me. Just kind of move it and don't cut the line so harsh. So I'm going to just kind of follow along with my scissors, again, moving my fur over a little bit so that I don't get that harsh line on here. And we're just gonna snip this down a little to give it a little more of the shape. That's all we're doing basically, is tracing it. We can make it bigger or smaller, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna just make a U a little bit on the bottom by pulling this up just so his eyebrows don't get covered. And I'm just gonna fake it till we make it here. There we go. There we go, I think that looks good. And then you'll see that we're gonna glue that down. And just the good old handy dandy hot glue. That'll work. And we are just gonna push down on that, fluff that up. Oh, it's so cute. All right, then we're going to need a couple pieces that you can cut, and that's just for his eyebrows. And we're gonna just use those for his eyebrows, basically doing the same shape that is already on there. The only reason why I use the sign, honestly, is because I'm no artist by all means. I always say I'm a great crafter, but I'm not an artist. So I didn't want to have to draw a face on there. And so we're going to use his face, but all the parts that are white, we're going to cover up with the real fur, and I just think it looks way more expensive. Now for the beard, just lay it out there, and you can kind of feel the texture because it's double. And you're just gonna make a little mark and cut around, and you can kind of feel it and just kind of cut it around right there. And once you got that shape, this makes a total mess, so probably not a good idea to wear black. But we're going to then glue that down. So I kind of made it so that it will stick up under my hat a little, and then there. So we're going to do that. Now, obviously you can see I cut a little bit low on his nose, but don't worry, I got a trick for that. Okay, so we're just going to attach it at the top for right now. We're not going to attach it at the bottom. Okay, so we're just gonna glue it so it don't keep moving around on me. And there is a purpose for that, so give me a second. Okay, so we have his fur down. And like I said, if you mess up by his nose, all those pieces of fur that are making a mess everywhere, we're just gonna grab a few of those and we'll put it with a little bit of glue on there. Some of these like little fur. And that way, I'll just put a little on there and you won't even see we messed it up. Okay, so we're just gonna put a little there. And then that's what you're gonna use this 1-inch wood ball for. Now you could paint it or you can leave it natural. I'm kind of going for the natural look. Obviously his face is the natural color, so it will work. It kind of gives it like a gnome kind of look, even though he's not a gnome, he's Santa. Okay, so we have his nose down. And we're going to let him sit there a second. And with this scrap over here, what I did is I twisted it and kind of made like a little circle on the back. And then we'll just use a dab of glue to glue that kind of down. I'm just using all my pieces, you know what I mean? That's it, no waste because I hate to waste actually. So let's just then take this and we're going to glue this down after we kind of made like a little, kind of a ball shape, that's the idea. And we're just gonna put that right on his hat. So now I have the same fur for his little ball, okay? So that's how I got my little ball. I just kind of made a little circle out of the fabric and then glued it down. You see there's a little thing sticking up. We'll just turn it and glue that into like a little circle. And now we have like a perfect little ball. It's got some texture. It sticks out. It's super cute. Okay, now, man, I hate a messy counter. All right, so we left this open for a reason and I'll show you in a minute, but I'm gonna set him aside for a second and we're going to come back to our black body, okay? This just happens to be a piece of fence board. You can pick these up at Lowe's or Home Depot. Like again, I cut this at 18. You could cut it longer if you wanted it taller. I think if you cut this at about 18, it will end up at about 28 inches. So a little over 2 foot tall. If you wanted them a little taller, just cut it a little longer. You don't want to get too crazy because it might look silly, you know? But what I did is I also had some scrap fur that I used for a different project. And what we're going to do is we're going to run a little piece. So I'm gonna use my fingers again and separate that fur so that we're not gonna cut off his fur, you know, so it doesn't look real straight edged. And I'm gonna cut it right down the middle. So this just happens to be a bigger piece. And I'm going to put that as his jacket fur. So I'm going to see what happens if you cut it real straight. It doesn't get that nice edge, but I did that on the bottom because I don't care because we're gonna staple that around the side, okay? So that we're going to run right down the middle. Now I did leave a little at the top because that's where his head's gonna be. So make sure you kind of leave a little bit because we're gonna staple his head right onto here. And then we will take our staple gun right now, and I'm just going to staple his fur at the bottom. All right, so we got that on there, and then I'm gonna put one right about here, okay? Then this is where we can use our staple gun again. And since this is like a cardboardy kind of material, we're going to staple him on. If you don't have a stapler, you may be to glue him, but I think, you know, the stapler probably works a little bit better. So I'm going to then just make 2 or 3 staples. I don't know what size staples I have in here, so I'm gonna hang it off the edge of my granite. I wanna go through my counter. And we're just gonna put a few staples in there so he's good and secure so he won't fall off. So that is the reason why we didn't put you know, his fur down. Then I will glue it. Now this one I made, you know, a longer beard. We can shorten up the beard if we want to make it a little shorter, which I might. He looks full like that. That's good. We go with it. I'm pretty easy going. Okay, so we have that. Then we'll, like I said, attach that a little bit better with some glue. So we're just going to, where our staples was, we're just going to put a little bit of glue down. And we'll just hold that down for a second. And that way it won't be flapping, you know what I mean? So we have that down. And then next we're going to use, make our belt. So what I did is I obviously used the ribbon, and it has the wire on it, and I just tied that around. And so not to waste, I just went halfway in the back, because you're not going to see it anyway. So I just cut a piece like that, and what I did is since we didn't only staple the fur on the end, we're going to slide this under the fur, so kind of put it right under it. There you go. And once again, you can make that his belt. We'll just glue it. You could staple it or glue it. A lot of times we're here in Arizona and it's really hot, so I don't use a lot of glue. I use a lot of staples because honestly, with it this hot, sometimes the glue doesn't really hold too good. So that's why I'm so used to stapling everything. But in this particular purpose, I'm not gonna put them outside, so it should work fine. Geez, that fur is all over, it's making my face itch. So that's gonna be his little belt. And then what I did is I just embellished it. I used a little bit of twine. I used these cute little tags and some greenery. So we're gonna finish that up over here. And you can get these little greeneries at the dollar store really, really cheap. And you can put it on any way you want. So I'm going to use my twine, and I'm just gonna go around it just a couple times. We're just gonna tie it around so it gives it a little more vintage look, I guess, is what we're going for. Like an old world Santa, I guess. And like I said, you can be creative and do whatever you want. I mean, honestly, that's what's so great about crafting. You can make it any way you want. And then I'm gonna use one of my sprigs. I got a little piece that's already in there, and I'm gonna just stick that in there. And then you know what, since it's on a wire, I'm just gonna give it a little twist so now it's around my twine and it won't fall off. And then I have some cute greeneries right here. And I'm just gonna cut a piece and maybe a piece of this holly leaf and some berries. And then I'm just going to add those right into my little decoration. And I'm gonna just glue those on. This is a super easy project and super cute. I just love fast, easy, inexpensive projects. I always say you can design on a dime and make it look really nice. Okay, and then I'm going to take one of these little ones. Let's do the Christmas one. And it already has a string on it, so I'm just gonna tie that right around my twine. Just give it a good twist. I'm gonna cut that so it's a little frayed. Let's cut that off. And look how super cute this is. Seriously, isn't it coming along so cute? Okay, so now I'm just gonna embellish his hat because I feel like his hat's a little plain and it's kind of boring. So I think we can just add a little more greenery. And I think I'll just cut a piece of this. There's some of this nice greens here. And some more berries. And I will just glue these right onto the hat. So again, using our glue, we'll just push that right on. Hold it down for a second. Probably should use some of those little rubber finger things, but I think mine are so good from using that. Just doing it so much, I think they're just hardened. And then I think I'm just going to use a little bit of the sprig too. And so I cut a little piece of that. That's a little Christmas tree kind of thing. And then I think we'll use our little pine cone. I have seriously a cute little pine cone in here. And I think I'll just kind of, where's my glue sticks? I use a lot of glue. All right, and we'll just use a little bit of glue on the side. I think I'll lay it to the side, this pine cone. Just put it on the pine cone and push down. Give that a second to dry. And a little bit on our berries here. Just hold those down for a half a second. Make sure we get all our stringies off there. Oh, yoy. What do you guys think? Super cute, super easy. Okay, again, thank you for watching. I may be doing another DIY tomorrow. Make sure you tune in. Don't forget, after my video now, we are going to have, let's see, what was her name? Snooki's, S-O-O-K-E-E Design. So you can go check out her cute ornaments. And again, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And thanks for watching. Again, it's Shelly with Gilbert Marketplace. And I hope you guys all have a happy holiday. Thanks and have a great day.